Ron, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going good. How about you?
Good, man. Always good to see your face. Always good to see that grin. Man,
You
so
too.
I'm excited to have you here because you just got back from your wedding, which looked absolutely amazing, by the way. And I know for you on our original call, that was like the big reason for you, or one of the big reasons you wanted to really commit to the program and dial things in from a health and fitness perspective. And looking back on the last 6 months, man, it was so much fun working with you. Like you always brought such great energy, but on top of that, the results that you created for yourself, the transformation was absolutely mind blowing, right? So
Yes.
if you can think back to where you were 6 months ago, before joining Alpha Body System, what was your relationship to health and fitness back then? Like what was life like for you before joining ABS?
So right before ABS, I think I was, just about a year into my career as a lawyer. My health was at an all-time low. Uh, it just wasn't a priority at the time. I had just, like you said, I had just got engaged, so that was taking up a lot of time planning. Those billable hours will will also take up a lot of time. I felt like I had motivation to commit to something, but that extra hurdle of planning my meals, of planning my workouts, and just feeling kind of alone in the process was enough of a hurdle to kind of keep me from staying consistent. Like I would try working out for a couple weeks, I'd maybe lose 5 pounds. And then I just find little excuses either not to go to the gym or, to snack in the middle of the day. And my results would be gone in a week. So that's where I was at.
Got it. Okay, well, look, you've been in the program for 6 months now. You've created an epic transformation for yourself. Like for you, like what were the actual tangible results that you've created for yourself in this time?
So, first I lost close to 20 pounds, which was huge, especially when I was fitting into my suit for the wedding. I felt very confident walking down the aisle, better than I had looked in, gosh, maybe ever. But what's important is that I didn't just lose weight, I lost fat and I gained a considerable amount of muscle and strength. I mean, I have never lifted that kind of weight ever, even when I was playing baseball in college. We were in the weight room 3, 4 times a week. We had a dedicated coach helping us, and I've never been in that good a shape ever in my life. But
Great. Well, I think, I want to ask you this because a lot of guys who are former high level athletes, they're like, oh, I already know how to work out. I just need help with my nutrition, right? So what how did the guidance and the expertise that you received on the workout side, how did that help you and how much of an upgrade was that relative to the pretty high level coaching you got as a college athlete?
so the guidance that I received as an athlete, it wasn't tailored to me. It was tailored to the team and sort of the sport that we were playing. So the difference here is that both you and Greg sort of take time to get to know me, get to know kind of what my level is as it pertains to uh, my athleticism, my mobility, and tailor the program on the training side, sort of exactly where my level is at. So you kind of meet me where I'm at, which I thought made a huge difference. Because I've had trouble with injuries in the past, and I had an injury coming into this, and the ability for you to go so deep in personalization allowed me to continue to work out even though I had that injury, and slowly build me back up to base level. And then, from there, my strength just went through the roof.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because so many guys still think that like, oh, my back's bugging me, oh, my shoulder's bugging me. I should just not do anything. And as you've learned, that's literally the worst thing you can do is completely stop training. The right thing to do is make the adaptations along the way that are tailored and customized to whatever specific issue you're dealing with, right? So the fact that you were able to lose almost 20 pounds, build a ton of muscle, ton of strength, while also improving joint health and joint function. I mean, that's amazing. And kudos to you for showing up consistently and actually putting the work in, right? So down almost 20 pounds, way stronger, way more muscle. How did those changes actually impact your life, whether it was from a relationship standpoint, a professional standpoint, or, the massive life event that you had, which was your wedding?
Right. I mean, it really affected every facet of my life. The confidence alone that I sort of brought with me, you know, to work, in social settings, was, the value there was immeasurable. Um, but for me, something that is kind of not weight related, and something else that I got out of this program is just that it's a healthier relationship with alcohol. Um, I wouldn't say I had a drinking problem before this, but if I went to a social setting or, I do a lot of networking at work, I felt the pressure to drink to feel comfortable. Um, and, you know, both you and Greg and the community really supported, sort of like minimal alcohol approach. Um, and, learning to network and socialize without alcohol, is something that I will use for the rest of my life. And I'm incredibly grateful for.
Yeah, it's so important. A lot of guys, they, like you said, they rely on alcohol to socialize. And a drink here or there, like you can totally make excellent gains with your fitness and weight loss as you've experienced. But if you're constantly relying on like 5, 6 drinks every time you go and meet up with your friends, it's going to make that journey a hell of a lot harder. So
Absolutely.
I'm glad that you've gained that understanding, that experience, because it really contributed to the progress that you made here. But that's going to set you up for years and years of health, and that's awesome, man. That's great. So one thing I have to ask you here, Ron, is you mentioned there were two instances as you're going through the program where one, you received a comment from your dad on, like, I think if I can remember correctly, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it was like usually when he would see you, he'd kind of give you a bit of a jab on like, oh man, you're letting yourself go. But there was like a point around month 4, month 5 where he saw you, was like, damn, like you're
Yep.
looking good. So like what was that interaction like for you?
Yeah, like my dad is an old school Italian. Um, and normally when I'd go to see him for the holidays, he's down in Florida, so we go to the beach. He'd point out like, "Hey, Ron, see you put on a few pounds." Um, like he says it with love, but about like you said, about 4 or 5 months in, when I went down to Florida to visit him, um, he when I took my shirt off at the beach, he was like, "Oh wow." He like grabbed my arms, like, "You look like you're in playing shape." He's always wanted me to go back and play baseball, so that was, I guess, just more fuel to the fire. But it was really great to hear that, and yeah, it was a cool moment.
You can always count on your parents to keep it real with you, can't you?
Yep, exactly.
Love it. Okay, and one other thing I have to ask you about was the conversation you had with your suit tailor for your wedding. So tell us what happened there.
Yeah, so right before the program, as I was planning for the wedding, I went to get fitted for, my tux. And I told the tailor, I plan to lose anywhere from 15 to 20 pounds from here until the wedding. Is there any way we can do another fitting close to the wedding so that the sizing is correct? And he said, yeah, we can do that. But he said, it's funny because most people, when they say that, they come back and they've actually gained weight. So he said it's probably good that we do that anyway. And I at the time I knew I was going to join ABS, so I was pretty confident that I was going to lose weight. But yeah, so I think it was what, 5 months later I went to fit, and yeah, my waist was about 2 inches smaller. My biceps were bigger. My chest was bigger. And he just goes, and I reminded him of that moment, and he goes, I mean, this is exactly what everybody wants. And he asked me what my secret was. So that was another really cool moment. And you don't often reflect on how much progress you've made, but that was one of those moments where I was like, yeah, I did something here, and I thought that was pretty special.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had after he doubted you the first time, you had to prove him wrong, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Incredible. Well, Ron, you've gone through the program for 6 months, down 20-ish pounds, way more strength, way more muscle, joints are feeling better. You've seen such a powerful transformation here, right? And you can probably think back to the time where like we had that original call, or maybe you saw my page and you're kind of wondering like if this is the right decision for you. So for anyone who's watching this and maybe they're in that position, they're wondering if Alpha Body System is the right program, community mentorship for them to be successful. What words of advice would you have for them?
I would say join yesterday. Um, I think if you're someone that has motivation, you just don't know where to start, or you just don't have time to put together a comprehensive plan, this is the perfect program for you. It's certainly not the cheapest program, but you're going to get results. And when you have those days, or maybe even 2 days, where you lack motivation to do anything, the community is there to support you. I mean, it sounds corny, but honestly, that was really important for me, was to have a group of guys with really one goal, that kind of all rally behind each other. And it's made a huge difference. But not only that, what's special about this program is that you don't just get in what you put into the program, you get way more, from you, from Greg. I kind of thought going into this, I was skeptical. I thought, I would never talk to you again after I signed up, like I would never interact with you. You would be out doing other things. But, I talk to you guys nearly every day. That alone, having you both as a resource on a daily basis, is so valuable. It's way more valuable than what you're going to spend on the program. So, yeah, like I said, join yesterday.
Well said. Well said. The best time to join Alpha Body System was yesterday. The second best time's today, right?
Today, yep.
Man, well, dude, you're such a valuable part of the community. It's been so fun to see you interacting with the guys. I know you and Lou go back with some healthy competition, and you've it's just it's a great team dynamic that I think, especially for guys like yourself that had that team dynamic as a high level athlete, often miss when it comes to their fitness and health goals beyond their career as a high level athlete. So again, all credit goes to you here. You absolutely crushed it. You've created amazing results and you're still going. It's only going to keep getting better and better for you. So
Yep.
really appreciate you taking the time here to share a bit about your experience with Alpha Body System. And I'm excited to watch you keep crushing it.
Yeah, check back in 6 months.
Let's
We'll do another one
go.
of
We'll,
these.
we'll, we'll do round two.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for taking the time, Ron. We'll talk soon. All right.
All right, bud.
All
Thank you.
right. You're welcome. See you later.